Strangers and Aliens interview with the crew of The Chosen Ones. Hello, everyone. It's me, Ben Avery, and thank you once again for joining us for another episode of Strangers and Aliens. And for this episode, I get to have a little bit of fun because this is the people who are here because they are working on a project that it ticks all my checklist. It's superhero, it's science fiction, it's faith-based, and it looks so much fun. And so when I saw this project, The Chosen Ones, I saw it on Facebook, I think, at first, and I started digging into like, what are they doing? What's going on here? Because there were some pretty cool photographs that they had with people with special powers and stuff, and I'm thinking, I need to find out about this. So I contacted one of our guests, Robert, and asked him, hey, would you like to be on the podcast? I'd like to try and get some word out for you guys and help you guys get word out about this project, especially as you are in the fundraising phase of the project right now. Is that correct, Robert?
Yes, we are.
All right. So that was Robert Rivera Jr., and he is the showrunner and creator of The Chosen Ones. And then we have Jeremiah, Andrew, Dixon, and Omar, who all are a part of the crew and cast. So, yeah. So we'll start with you, Robert. I'd like to start with you just to ask you, like, where did this show come from? What's going on here? You've got this project. This is ambitious, man. This is an ambitious thing. What's going on?
Yeah, well, first of all, thanks for having me and the rest of the team here tonight. We're excited to be here and tell you guys about our show, the story, and the project that we have right now. So this project actually first began as a college semester project. I actually wrote it quite a few years ago while I was in my last year of college. And the course that I was taking was a writing for television class. And the semester project was to write your own TV show. So we had to write the series Bible, we had to write the pilot synopsis, and we had to write the pilot script. And so I don't remember exactly like what really triggered the sort of story that I was writing. I was just kind of pulling a bunch of different like elements from my head and just putting it all together. And so I remember at that time my interest in superheroes had just recently resurged again. I was watching a lot of repeats of X-Men the animated series,
Nice.
Spider-Man the animated series. I take a lot of my inspiration from 90s cartoons and television shows and video games. That's what I grew up with. And so a lot of my inspiration comes from that. And so when I started putting something together, I just started writing the show. I took one character in particular. He was sort of loosely based on me, and then I just started building him, and then I started creating other characters, and I put myself in those other characters. And then originally the show wasn't actually faith-based because it was just for school.
Okay.
But there were still Christian elements in the story, particularly light versus darkness. That is something you'll see is pretty prominent in our project moving forward. So that was prominent in the original draft. And then, just from there, once college finished, I did want to get back into it and revise and rewrite and start really building the show. I got back into it a few years later. I had the original script, and from there I just rewrote the entire script, wrote a brand new draft, and just have been building the show from there. And now we're at a point where we have actual cast and crew for it. So we're excited to move forward.
Yeah. I think you would agree with me, though. I notice that a lot of my projects, even when they aren't a faith-based project, you can't help it. Like it's in you,
Totally.
and what's in you is what's going to come out, and yeah. But, so you have then now you've assembled a crew, you've assembled a cast. What caused you to cross that line from I've done this thing that I've written down and now this is how it's going to go out into the world? Like what caused you to cross the line between I've got a script and it's a great idea that I love, and I want to share it with the world now.
Passion, honestly. I've honestly just been passionate about this project since I first wrote it in college, and I've like during the years that I wasn't working on it between college and when I finally went back to it, I was constantly thinking about it, and so I'm very passionate about this, and once I reached the point in the development of the show, when I knew I needed to start bringing on extra people, that's when we started building our team. And so, well, first of all, Dixon here is one of my oldest friends. We've been friends for more than a decade at this point, and I already knew that he and I were going to be working together. But aside from him, I started bringing on other people who can help write. So we were writing some episode ideas and episode synopses for our first season. Omar is one of them, so he came on board early in the development to help write some of the episodes and develop some of the stories. And then from there, we just kept building and building. And at some point, we brought on other people such as story consultants and our music composers. We were building the crew first because there were people actually already contacting me to join the show because they were just so interested in what was presented. So we brought on our crew members first, and we started coming up with some musical ideas and story ideas and character ideas, and now we have some producers as well. And then at some point, when we were pretty secure in our first season, we decided we wanted to start casting so that we can also shoot some promotional content for our website, for our social media. And so we started putting out the casting call, and before you know it, we had a full cast.
Nice. So I'm going to move to Dixon then. Dixon, you've been with, I'm going to say with the project, but with Robert probably is more accurate. So you've known about the project for a long time. When did you start stepping in and start being a part of things beyond just, hey man, check out this thing I'm doing, or does it go all the way back, or when did you come in?
I guess I would say around the time when Rob was working on his short film that we did a few years ago. Yes. But before that, Rob would share with me the draft that he wrote for his school assignment, and as I was reading the script, I would be very influenced, in a sense, inspired to write some music that would possibly go with everything that I was reading on the script. Also, aside from that, I watched a lot of Heroes, which is which is what this script reminded me of. So I would take the time to compose some music, and I would just pitch it to Rob and be like, "This is what I came up with. What do you think?" And he would okay, I'll take it. So
nice.
I'm like, okay. So this is pretty much what our relationship has been like regarding this series. I like to compose a lot, and whatever ideas I have, I'll pitch it to him and be like, "Is this something that you think that would be appropriate for the show? If not, I could do something else." And I would always check with Rob in regarding the musical aspect. Well, on my part. So that's pretty much how it started. Yes.
So you're on you're on the music side then. You're doing some of the composing and then moral support definitely for ages with
Yes,
Robert.
Yes,
so nice. And actually you mentioned Heroes. That is a vibe I felt just from looking at some of the promotional stuff that you put out with some of the photos and some of the test footage that you guys had done. I think the main reason is it's modern. They aren't wearing tights. They're wearing street clothes. And so that's definitely has that Heroes vibe, because I loved Heroes. Didn't love Heroes Reborn so much, but I did love the original series. So, but yeah, and I just, that was one of the things I was like, okay, this feels like Heroes. You've also referenced, Robert, that there's some influence with CW superhero stuff and that kind of thing. Which there are more tights and things in those, but yeah. So, Jeremiah, we'll move to you now. You are one of the cast, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Tell us about how you got involved in this. How did you become aware of it and get auditions and all that kind of thing?
All right. So I had a friend of mine in church who I was at work and she sends me a Facebook group link to another group called I believe it's the New York Christian Media Group. That's also hosted by Robert. And I look at that and it just piqued my interest. So I click on the link, I go through the group, and I see a post for the Chosen Ones. And it caught my eye so quick. It was the first post on that page at the time. And I was just super interested. I read about it. Robert had like a little description in the title of the picture. And so I put in the comments, saying, hey, I would like to learn more about this project. And I was bold enough to ask about any of the main roles if if that was available. And so Robert, he replies to my comment, and that he ends up sending me a message on Facebook Messenger, giving me like a little synopsis of the show, telling me what it's about, what's the goal here, and I was all in for it. I loved everything that I saw. I was just really honored that I even got the chance to get involved in it.
So,
yeah.
What can you reveal about who your character is? What can you tell us about who your character is, and what drew you to the character now? Like, what hooks do you have in the character that you're just like, oh, I love this?
Well, even reading about the description of Zachary, I saw myself. I saw a lot of things that, even what the character went through, that I was like, oh, I've definitely gone through something similar. Even when reading the bios of the characters, I just envisioned of allowing other people to see myself and to see, a little bit of my testimony within Zachary and be able to show other people how to get through certain situations and how to get through certain problems through someone else's life. And also, I just love the ability to relate to Zachary in different ways and just to make it my own. I think Robert, that he allowed us to really make the characters our own and to allow us to be comfortable so that we can, properly show who these people are and what they're made of.
All right. Omar, you are on the writing team, I understand.
I am, yes.
So tell us how you got involved in this thing. How'd they get their claws in you?
No, I can't. No. So Robert and I we had never actually physically met, right? Robert, I believe we were both part of a fellowship group, of Christian artists, most of whom are musical theater kids from the Midwest or the South. I'm not a musical theater kid. Robert is not, but we are two of the only native New Yorkers there. Anyway, I think he just mentioned in the Facebook group or something that he was looking for people who might want to write on some projects that he had in development. I had just taken a pilot writing class, so I reached out to him. When he told me he had something about superheroes, that I still have like 700 comic books in my mother's house from my youth. So that really spoke to me. Yeah.
All right. And Robert, you could probably jump in on this too if you want, but what's been written here? Like, how have you written the full season? Have you outlined it? Or like how in depth have you gone? I know you're working on fundraising to be able to film the pilot, so at least the pilot's been written. But how far have you guys gone with some of this other stuff?
We actually have a lot of stuff sort of either completed or we're currently developing it now. And when I say a lot, I mean like a lot. So remember, this show has been like in my head for years, a lot longer than we've been developing the current version of the show. And so I can tell people that we actually have multiple seasons already planned out. And we have a bunch of episodes already planned out. We already know like what characters are going to be introduced in so-and-so episode, and when they're departing the show in so-and-so episode, and when new characters are coming in. Like, we already have all of that planned out already. I already have, like, certain scenes already planned out in my head. I've written it down in this episode and in this episode. So we have quite a bit, developed by now. As of right now, our main focus is the pilot episode. And we do have the synopsis, and we do have, the script written out for the pilot. For the remainder of season 1, we currently have the synopses of each episode, written out already. So we do have an idea of what we want to do with season 1. Obviously, you know, we do want to, improve some of the stories. So I'm working with our writers and story consultants to figure out, you know, how to improve these episodes and make them the best that they can be. So, and also we have, you know, character bios, we have the series Bible or treatment. So we have pretty much everything, all set already. Now it's just focusing on getting this pilot up and running.
All right. I realized I haven't even really had you had a chance to like tell us the tagline or, you know, the elevator pitch of what this show is about. And I'm not going to edit it in and change it around so I can edit this in so it happens earlier. I'm just going to go ahead and we'll do it right now. I guess I should say I'm giving you time to prep for that because I do want to make sure we talk to Andrew first. And I mean, we've talked with the others already. And so before we get into that elevator pitch and tell us like what the Chosen Ones is about, Andrew, tell us about your role. I mean, you got the guitar on the wall back there. I'm assuming it's music related, right?
Yeah, that's right. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Yes, I actually was the last of 3 composers to join the Chosen Ones. I've never met Robert in person or pretty much any of the cast or crew. I'm all the way in San Antonio, Texas.
Oh, okay.
So
how did you get connected then?
Yeah, so we had a mutual friend here who's in San Antonio, and I had commented on one of his posts that he made about his art and what he wants to do with himself. And Robert like just privately messaged me. He's like, "Hey, like, you do music?" And like he was just asking me all these questions about like who I was and like a little bit of my background. And I was like, "Yeah, I do." And he was like, "Have you ever done like composing?" I've done a little bit, but my main background in music has been performing and traveling with music because I've had a band and I've done Christian ministry. So I started as a live musician, and as I turned 30 just last year, I went into composing more in that avenue because I wanted to focus more on my craft on that. And so just this past year, I started making more music for little TV shorts, for little movie shorts and contests and film festivals. And I was able to connect with Robert, and he was able to give me this opportunity to join a pretty amazing team that's very talented. So, yeah, I'm one of 3 composers, and I'm really looking forward to bringing what I have to offer and my musical experience and background to the team that's already stacked.
All right. Excellent. So back to you, Robert. Tell us, what is the elevator pitch? What is the Chosen Ones about?
Yeah, our logline, is basically a group of young adults, who live in New York City. They essentially receive powers from God himself. And now they're trying to learn why they have these powers. They're using these powers to fight against those who use their powers for evil. And there's an impending darkness that's approaching, and, you know, they have to learn about what this is and how they're going to fight this darkness. I always tell people that, in TV shows such as Heroes, and The Gifted, which is, connected to X-Men.
Yeah.
In those 2 shows, they each had an episode in which one character either asked, do you think God gave us these powers? Or said to someone else, God gave them these powers. And, I was disappointed when they didn't actually dive deeper into that topic, because I'm like, that's such a great topic right there. And you guys had a chance to open that door to that topic, and you didn't. You only touched the surface of it, you know. I think in The Gifted's defense, I think they got canceled right after that episode, so they didn't have a chance to go through that. But, I always tell people that our show is going to take that question and dive into that topic. We're going to open that door. We're going to talk about, why did God give us these powers, right? And what are our powers for, right? And so, that's just more of the faith-based, aspect of it. On the more story side, our show, it focuses on this team of young adults with these powers. There is, a character known as the Dark Figure. This character is a mysterious character. They don't really know who this character is at this point. All they know is that, he tried, essentially darkening New York City, physically darkening New York City with his powers. And so now that they know that there's someone out there like this, now, they have to, take him down. They're going to work together to take him down. And then we also dive into the characters' backgrounds, get to personally know them as well. So yeah, it's a fun story, and it's a story of light versus darkness, good versus evil, hero versus villain. It's a classic superhero show with faith elements thrown in as well.
But what I like what you're doing though, especially as you're focusing on that question of, well, did God give us those powers? Well, yeah, but why? Like that is something that, that goes much further than just superheroes. Like that is something that we can ask about almost anything, like Andrew, you're talking about your, wanting to do the music and stuff like that. Well, I won't, call it a superpower, but like, why did God give us the talents he's given us, and it's to use them for his kingdom, and eventually you either do or you don't. Like that's, and so I like the way you're going with that, and just that opens up so many storytelling opportunities. But superheroes themselves, they open up so many storytelling opportunities just because of, the imagination stuff, but then also the interpersonal stuff, and just allowing the character to, hey, how do I use these? What do I use them for? And how do I stop the bad guy? So yeah.
Ben,
yeah.
Can I say something in defense
of
the aforementioned X-Men cartoon? The character of Nightcrawler was a Christian. And there was one episode in which I think he kind of witnessed to Wolverine.
He doesn't kind of witness. He does witness.
Straight up.
The episode ends with Wolverine praying at the church.
Yeah. I actually had a youth pastor friend right after that came out. I don't know if he recorded it because I actually don't know why he recorded it, because it wasn't like we were all recording, the X-Men cartoon. He showed that to his youth group. He showed that episode to his youth group, because now that was when I was getting into youth ministry, just getting out of college. That was when The Matrix came out. And so we were all finding what's more pop culture stuff that we can use, and that was the time, when, man, if you were a youth pastor, you didn't talk about The Matrix, there was something wrong, that was just what we did as youth pastors back in 1999 or whatever it was. So, all right, well, let's dig into some of these more important questions that I have for you guys. Like, what is your favorite superhero movie? What is a superhero movie that you found to just speak to you? And I'll let anyone start. Whoever wants to jump in first. What's your favorite superhero movie?
We're not
I'll start.
TV series, right? This has to be a theatrical film.
We'll come back to TV series. Yeah, we'll start with movies, and then we'll go into TV series.
Okay, I'll start. I am a big fan of the original Spider-Man 2002 film with Tobey Maguire. And Spider-Man 2, and honestly, the whole trilogy. I know that Spider-Man 3 is not really a favorite of a lot of people who like the trilogy, but I was fine with it. I think, coming off of the 90s, we had the 90s Spider-Man cartoon, and I was big into that show. And then, we had the Spider-Man, movie come out in the early 2000s. And so that really just sort of, increased my interest in the Spider-Man character, and I started diving deeper into the lore and the universe of Spider-Man. I was never a comic book person. My family never really bought me comic books. I think the only comic books I actually collected were the Sonic the Hedgehog comic books because I was a big Sonic the Hedgehog fan.
But in their defense, those are really good. I haven't read them, but I have a couple of friends. They swear by them that those are some amazing comic books. So
yeah, they are. And it's the only franchise in Sonic continuity that is actually consistent with its storytelling as well. Yeah, with the Spider-Man, I really the 2002 movie really piqued my interest. And then I think, if I'm not mistaken, when that movie came out, they actually started to release the 90s Spider-Man on DVD, in volumes and of episodes. And so I started collecting those. And yeah, my interest in superheroes, and Spider-Man just skyrocketed with the 2002 Tobey Maguire movie.
All right.
For me, I'd say my favorite superhero film is Man of Steel. # restore the Snyderverse.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. It's that hashtag is it's fine and all, but it ain't gonna happen.
No, but yes, this movie. Well, just the beginning of that world itself with Man of Steel. I could primarily speak from a musical perspective because Hans Zimmer did an incredible job. Let me not say job. No, he did incredible work in musically creating the world of Krypton, musically creating the world of Superman and his origin, and him trying to learn about not only his identity but what is his place in the world. Yeah, from a musical perspective, throughout watching the whole film, I felt every weight of every note that was singed into the picture. Yeah, it played a major role in me as a composer. So, Man of Steel. Yeah.
Very cool. All right.
For me, I don't know if you would really call I would call him a superhero in my mind, but I always loved the original Crow with Brandon Lee.
Yeah.
Okay.
Soundtrack to the story, how the story is basically about him redeeming his wife who was murdered and killed. He comes back to life to try to avenge her death by cleaning the streets of all these vigilantes and bad guys. And what's more profound for me about that movie is that in the actual movie, he actually died on set. And
yeah,
at the end of the movie, they sent him off, his spirit is going to heaven and reunites with his dead wife. But they filmed that before he actually died, so it was just an amazing work of art for me. From the comic book, the comic books were amazing. The soundtrack choices they used to just the story synopsis. Yeah, I'm a composer, but I'm a real big storyteller guy. So for me, if the story is not good and it's not there, if the writing's not good, then the music it's not going to be there. And that movie to me has everything: the story, the acting, and put it all together with the music. It's become a cult classic. So that one is my favorite.
All right.
Dixon, did you see the original Superman with Christopher Reeve?
I did, yeah.
And you don't think that John Williams' score is better than the Man of Steel?
Well, everyone loves John Williams.
Yeah, man.
I get it, but
all right, man. Okay, I'll defer to you. You're the composer.
We're in a new age of film scoring, so.
All right. Yeah, notwithstanding what Martin Scorsese and Quentin Tarantino have to say about superhero movies, I think there's a lot of really good ones.
Incredible.
If I had to pick one that's my favorite, I might pick Logan.
All right.
although I might be influenced by something that I don't think is in the actual movie. No, wait, the Hurt by Johnny Cash, is that actually in the score? Since we're speaking of,
I think it was just in the trailer.
It was in the trailer, right? Yeah, all right. So
I don't remember if it was in the.
Yeah. I still just really like that film. It partially because I like Wolverine better when his healing factor isn't off the charts, when he's capable of getting hurt. You know. Plus, you had the whole relationship with his daughter and with Professor X, who was kind of like a father to him. So it was kind of like he's he was going through the process of losing his father, but gaining a daughter. I would probably go with Logan. That's my favorite. If we're talking movies.
Yeah, we'll talk TV in just a minute. Yeah. All right, Jeremiah.
Yeah, for me, some of you may disagree, but I think as the greatest superhero film, especially because of the awesome CGI, it has to be Green Lantern, hands down, best film of all time. I'm joking, by the way. No, we're going to talk about that. No, for me, it would have to be Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
That's great.
Nice one.
To be honest, out of all the Cap movies, I think that has to be the best one, in my opinion. But what drew me to that movie would have to be the choreography and all the fight scenes. Like, it was so good in so many ways. Like, and also if anybody had the question, like, if, does Cap kill? I think that first drop kick to that guy on the boat, when he flies overboard, I think that definitely answers that question. But yeah, that movie, like, even with costume design, Cap's suit, out of all the movies that he's been in, that has to be my favorite one. The storyline with him and Crossbones and the Winter Soldier, all of it is just, that movie was a 10. Out of all the Marvel movies, that has to be a 10. Guaranteed.
No, it definitely is. Definitely. I do another podcast about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and we constantly go back to that moment of the week that came out. There was the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode where they're like, yeah, we got some stuff happening, and it kind of led into what was going to happen with Agent Sitwell. And then after it was done, and just the way it crossed over, and suddenly after that movie came out, the whole show was decimated. Like, the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was just destroyed. And it's like, what are they going to do to our show? Yeah. And yeah, that movie, it helped that it was also just a fantastic, thriller as well. I mean, I think honestly, a lot of your better superhero movies are movies that can be defined as superhero plus. So superhero plus thriller, or, superhero plus sci-fi action, or superhero plus, romantic comedy, or whatever it might be. But yeah. All right. So you guys all, Omar, you skirted it, but you all did not give the correct answer, which is Superman from 1978. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That is the correct answer to this question. And I'm only biased because that was like the first movie I saw in theaters. I was 3 years old, and it just changed my life and changed just, I mean, I was 3. So, I mean, how much was my life changing? I don't know, but it was this just momentous thing for me. And you're not wrong about the score. John Williams' score is amazing. However,
hear that, Dixon? No.
No, because I was about to say, however, that Man of Steel score is so emotional. Yeah. It is just
the flight scene.
Oh, it's just emotion. Like, it is just emotion set to music. And that is just, and I used to listen to John Williams when I would write, but I don't listen to him very much when I write anymore, because he's just so bombastic, and it's hard for me to concentrate. But with this Man of Steel, that soundtrack, that one, I mean, I don't remember what exactly project I was working on, but I remember just listening to it on repeat as I was working on a writing project. So yeah. Let's talk about superhero TV. I mean, that's what The Chosen Ones is. So now you guys have to drill down, and it's unfortunate because, like, Disney Plus and the CW together, like there's like 5,000 different TV shows between the two of them. But I wanted you to drill it down to one favorite superhero television show. And I've already tipped my hand what mine is. It is definitely Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I love that show. I love Phil Coulson. Coulson is one of my favorite characters in comics and in superhero media, even though he's not technically a superhero. My runner-up would be the Incredible Hulk, the original Incredible Hulk. Again, that's because I was a kid. I was in elementary school, and we would tear off our shirts and pretend to be, turning into Lou Ferrigno, even though I was the most scrawny kid in class, But, yeah, love that show. But Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is my favorite. And so now you already know what the correct answer is. So go ahead and give your wrong answers as to what your favorite shows are. But
Wait, before we answer, are we talking live action and animated?
Does anime count?
I'm gonna let
Okay,
animated or live action, both. Yeah.
perfect.
Mine all time is a Smallville.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah.
Smallville's good.
Yeah.
I just recently finished watching that for the first time ever last year. Yeah, it's a great show.
That's my favorite Superman.
Why Smallville?
He's your favorite Superman?
Yeah.
Nice. All right.
But why is that your favorite TV?
Um,
What's your favorite series?
I'm like that late '90s, early 2000s guy, and I just love the whole like the story and how they portrayed it, and how they told his story from like being a teenager and growing up, and how he eventually became Superman, and like I just love how they mixed it with this like a teen drama, but also superhero at the same time. And Tom Welling, he's one of my favorite actors too, and I think he like nailed it out of the park portraying it. And to me, that's my favorite opening theme song for a superhero show too. The theme song that's played in Smallville. So I recommend anybody after this to go check out "Save Me" from the original Smallville TV show.
Yeah, that is a great track. Let me ask you this, Andrew. Did you watch the Crisis on Infinite Earth that they did on the CW?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
How did you feel about Tom Welling's character arc and where it went?
I had mixed emotions, but I was like, you know what? Yeah, you know what? He wanted to have a family, all right. So I respect that.
And it was so cool just to see him on screen again.
It was
Like that was cool. But
yeah, it was awesome. I don't know how I felt about Lex Luthor being the guy from 2.5 Men.
Well, that's because he played the nephew of Lex
Yeah.
Luthor in Superman 4, wasn't it?
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he played Lex Luthor's
Don't see
nephew.
Superman 4 though, and don't see 3 either. Just the first two.
Oh, I would say watch them to at least have seen it. But man, back when that was all we had, we had to live with it. We had to live with it. Now there's so many different choices. Yeah. All right. Who's next with their favorite TV superhero?
Oh, sorry. No, I'll defer to Robert.
Oh, okay. For me, I'm gonna go on the animated side. I would say Ultimate Spider-Man. It aired on Disney XD, and I believe Drake Bell was the voice of Spider-Man. And the one thing I loved about that show is just the casual fourth wall breaks of Peter Parker, and just like the looniness to it. The story. I remember there was a I think it was in season 3 or 2, most likely 3, where Norman Osborn, since he's the Green Goblin, he's traveling to different multiverses with their version of Spider-Man, and he tries to collect DNA samples to mix them all together and to turn himself into the Goblin Spider. And what was so dope about even that story arc was the animation style changed depending on which multiverse they were in. So when they went to the Miguel O'Hare, the 2099 universe, it was a 3D. When they went to Spider-Ham's universe, it was like a Looney Tunes.
Nice.
And then when they went to Spider-Man Noir's universe, it was black and white. So even the detail in that entire show takes me. I love it.
Omar?
All right.
Oh, okay. I definitely go with the Netflix Daredevil series. Um, if you, it's not entirely family friendly because of how bloody and
No, it is not.
I don't think Daredevil's ever been family friendly.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, just also it deals with he's a fairly probably not as devout a Catholic as Nightcrawler was in the X-Men series, but he takes his faith very seriously. They have they have there's one scene where he has a fascinating theology discussion with his priest about the existence of the devil and how the devil might operate among humans. And also like the name, like he earns the nickname Daredevil. He earns the costume. They explain why he is not willing to kill. It's just, and I must say, I am very concerned that Disney Plus is not going to do that. They've already kind of dropped the ball with how they handled him in the She-Hulk Attorney at Law series, and I'm very concerned that with Daredevil Born Again, they're just gonna ruin that whole thing.
However, to assuage some of your fears here, because they had written and started making episodes, and then they scaled back.
Yeah.
And they brought back Foggy. They're bringing back Karen Page, and I mean they are actually making it so it is a follow-up to Netflix. I don't know if it's gonna be the same universe or not, but
Okay.
it is definitely going to be. They're saying it's going to be more Netflix-like than what it looked like they were planning to do. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Time will tell.
I hope so. Yeah.
All right.
For me, my favorite. I can't really tell what's a favorite because there's so many of them. But I would say the one that started it all. Smallville was great, so I give you that, Andrew. However, I'm going to go with Arrow. The reason why is because this was the first time I have seen like DC superhero shows, ever, with superb fight choreography, and you could see everything that is going on. Like, I really care about storytelling through fighting and whatnot. Not only that, the composer for that is Blake Neely. I learned about his work while watching the Arrowverse, and just everything that he's done with that is pretty amazing, story wise. So, yeah, I'm gonna be talking a lot about music, so forgive me. But yes, Arrow, I will say that.
Great choice. And yeah, can you believe what they built out of that show? Like,
Oh man,
I can't. The CW just became DC basically. It was just crazy.
Watch out
All right,
for some
Rob.
spin-offs from the Chosen Ones.
Robert, what about you?
Man, that's a tough choice because I have quite a bit. I'm gonna have to mention one and just mention the others for honorable mentions. I would say mine would probably be Heroes, season 1 in particular. I think season 1 is honestly just one of the most perfect television seasons I've ever seen. It's just so well constructed. And I just love everything about it. The characters, how they all intertwine at some point throughout the season, the music, each character has their own theme. And the theme, the music becomes very familiar with the audiences. The story's great. I honestly I could watch season 1 over and over and over again. They have such a great cast. Some honorable mentions I just want to throw out there as well would be, I am sorry, Jeremiah, but I am not with you with your Ultimate Spider-Man. I'm a little bit more old school. I like the 90s Spider-Man. The Spectacular Spider-Man is amazing.
That's so good.
That's a great one. I like X-Men Evolution, Wolverine and the X-Men, Justice League Unlimited. I like all those shows. Those are all fantastic shows. So it's a tough choice for me, but for the purposes of this podcast, Hero Season 1 is
All right.
pretty fantastic.
Sorry, Ben, can I give an addendum to my
Go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know we were doing honorable mentions. Like that's not fair.
Okay, so
I mean, technically, I did start things out with an honorable mention. So, I mean, it's...
All right. Well, since we're doing that, I did almost go with Captain America: Winter Soldier for the movie, but for the TV series, I think it's actually a toss up between Daredevil and Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Netflix, right?
Yeah. What?
Netflix or
No, that was on Nickelodeon. I think.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
The live action
I'm
series
talking
was
about
Netflix, right?
I'm not talking about the
Yes.
live action series. No, I mean the cartoon.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay,
Um,
for my honorable mention. Ooh, I don't know if I want to say that because it didn't feel right, but I'll say it anyway. Supercell on Netflix. This is a London-based superhero drama. Superb writing by a
That's
black man.
that's
Yes.
fairly new, isn't it?
It's fairly new.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Written
I'm sorry.
think
What
it's-
what is it called?
Supercell.
Hmm.
Supercell. SUPA cell. It's very impeccable writing. So yes.
All right. Any other runner-ups you want to throw out there before we move on? All right. This is going to be the speed round then. And I'm just going to throw out a couple phrases and you just tell me what comes to mind as far as your answer to what your preferred one would be. All right. So, superpower. What would you want?
Telekinesis.
Oh, that was fast. All right.
Oh
Nice.
wait, I don't know. Wow, flight.
Speed.
The ability to reheal your body, reheal yourself.
Wow. Okay.
Speed. Yeah.
All right. Very good. And flight for me, I just think that'd be so. I'm scared of heights, but if I could fly, I wouldn't have to worry about it. So,
You can travel anywhere.
yeah. Favorite superhero?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
I knew that.
Spider-Man all the way.
Batman.
Thing.
Man, Batman for me.
And I definitely go with Superman. Favorite supervillain?
Green Goblin.
Ooh, Joker all the way. Joker, love Joker.
Oh man.
Yeah, Heath Ledger Joker.
I'm taking.
Here you
I'm
go.
sorry. I'm taking Mark Hamill's Joker any day of the week. I'm sorry. That's a staple for me. Mark Hamill. I'm taking his Joker.
I'm gonna go with Ra's al Ghul.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Okay.
No, the Kingpin from the Daredevil show. Sorry.
Okay.
If you could be on any super team, what super team would you want to be on?
Justice League.
Yeah, that's
Avengers.
Ooh.
Ah, that's a tough one.
Any team.
I'm not sure.
Man. This is tough. Wow.
All right, this is speed round. Just say what's on the top of your head.
I'm gonna go Spider Society.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah.
I would never even thought of that.
I'm gonna go with the Chosen Ones team.
Hey! Okay.
I was waiting for someone to say something like that.
That family for me.
Bat Family. For me, Fantastic Four. That's just because of the kinds of adventures that they have. That exploration and stuff. All right. This is one. There's a right or wrong answer to this one. Superman or Batman?
Batman.
Batman.
Superman.
I'm gonna go with
Come on, Dixon.
Batman.
Batman. Come on, Batman.
Batman, man.
Superman.
All right. That is the correct answer. Superman
Ah,
is the
come
correct
on.
answer. All right, Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
Marvel. Marvel.
Marvel.
Marvel.
Oh wow, nice. We have consensus here. Although I will say Marvel for stories, but DC for characters.
Yeah.
I like the DC characters.
I agree.
But Marvel stories just engage me more, and always have. Like their comics have always hit me in a different way than the DC ones, and yeah. So, all right. Well, let's talk about where you are with the Chosen Ones and how people can get involved, and let's talk about your social media as well. Like, how can we follow you? How can we get involved and kind of keep tabs on what's happening with you guys?
Yeah. So right now, as you mentioned at the beginning of the show, we're currently crowdfunding right now. So right now we're using Seed and Spark, and if audiences are not familiar with Seed and Spark, it's basically Kickstarter, but particularly for film and TV projects. So we're using Seed and Spark right now to fundraise. I think we have just a little over a week left. If we succeed, then we keep the money. If we don't succeed, the money goes back to whoever pledged and whoever gave. However, we also do have a donation box on our website. So if the money goes back to the to audiences, they can give the money back if they want to our website instead, and that'll go directly to us, and we can use that money for the pilot. So right now, we are crowdfunding right now, and that's been our primary focus, as well as promotional content. And we're getting out the promotional content through our social media. So that includes, right now we have a Facebook. So we actually have two Facebook pages. We have The Chosen Ones, and we have The Chosen Ones Fandom Community, which is a Facebook group. And the group will allow people to enter into the group and be able to interact with us directly. I often post in there any updates, any news, any announcements that I probably won't put on either Instagram or the Facebook page. So that's a very important one. That actually has our highest number of followers. We're at over 1,100 members in the Facebook group right now. So we have
Excellent.
the Facebook page, which is The Chosen Ones. We have the Facebook group, which is The Chosen Ones Fandom Community. We also have our Facebook page in Spanish as well. We have a Facebook Spanish page. I'm sorry to my Puerto Rican family. My Spanish is not good. I don't even remember what it was called actually, so forgive me.
Aquellos escogidos.
There we go.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
All right.
That's why I have other Puerto Ricans on here. So, so yes, we have that, and we also have that on Instagram as well. We also have our English Instagram page, which is The Chosen Ones _TV. So we have that. I just put up our YouTube page last Friday, so we have the YouTube page as well, The Chosen Ones.
Oh,
or if you want to
excellent.
use the @ symbol, then it's The Chosen Ones _TV. And we also have our website, www.thechosenones.net. And from the website, you can find all of our social media. You can find the Spanish page as well. The donation page is there. You can find character pages and other promotional content on there. It's updating on a daily to weekly basis, so we are perfecting the site. We just recently added a store to the site as well, because we're going to be selling merchandise as well. So we got that on the website. We also have I'm forgetting one more, which was the shoot, I forgot. We have the Facebook, we have the Instagram. Oh, our email address. That's what it is. Our email address, if audiences want to get in touch with us through email, they can email us, send us an email at teamchosenonestv@gmail.com. And so that is all of our social media and platforms. We also have an IMDb if anyone wants to check out our IMDb on there, but there's only the pilot and the cast of the pilot on there right now. But I'm planning to put some fun facts and trivia up on the IMDb as well. So check that out when you have a chance, The Chosen Ones, and you should see us right there.
And we will have links to all that stuff in the show notes for our YouTube video of the post for this, and the audio post will also have the links to those things in the show notes. And yeah, definitely like them on Facebook and follow along with that. And we are recording this on October 27th, and it's not going to go out until, it'll be probably a day or two before this goes out. And you have a little over a week as of right now for the fundraising. Is that what you said? Or the crowdfunding?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So what's the final date on that?
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe they told me it was November 6th. So I think they said, I checked the page today. I think the page said there was like 9 days left. So I believe it's November 6th. Yeah.
So that's just to give you guys context. If you are watching this or listening to this, in middle of November or something like that, and you're like, wait a minute. So, well, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you guys taking some time on a Sunday evening and spending time just talking about geeky stuff, but also talking about your project. And I'm very excited to see where this goes, and very excited just for the ambition behind this. Like, this is ambitious and audacious, and it sounds like so much fun. And so, like, you're to be commended. I really appreciate you guys spending time
Thank you.
To just be able to geek out with me a little bit. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us, Ben.
Yeah. So until next time, everyone, you can always contact us at studioavery@gmail.com or leave us a comment in the post below. And until next time, thanks for listening and Godspeed.